Hey Japanobloggers! Today I'm doing a little bit of an update on where exactly some of my interview reviews have gone. As you've seen, I've only done about 3, which is pretty much how many companies I have actually gone through a process for. And I've got one right now that's actually pretty far along. First one I haven't heard anything back from. I got a no from Interac, I'll name these, a no from Aeon, and no from Coco. Right now I'm still working with another company that I'm not going to name yet, and I'm not sure if I can name them in the future, but we'll cover that when we get there. So, the good news. I've actually got a provisional contract with the last company I interviewed with. Now this doesn't mean that I have a contract, but I'm moving in the right steps to actually have a full-fledged contract. This provisional contract is a little bit intense to some people. That actually might seem like a regular contract. But at this point, I've said this already, I'm moving in the right direction to actually having a job now. This provisional contract pretty much has stated that I am willing to work with the company. I can do the things that the company is expecting of me, like work with kids, blah blah blah, move to Japan. They'll also send you a bunch of other documents, like how exactly to get by in Japan, your agreement, and a couple of other things. The main thing you have to send back is the provisional contract. With this one, luckily, I emailed my guy twice about this just to make sure, and I'm sure he's getting tired of me doing this. You can electronically fill out the document and have it sent back via email, since it's just a provisional. After your provisional goes back, the person who's now like your liaison, I guess what you could say, with the company will send you another email full of required documents that you now have to fill out. They will list for you documents of utmost importance, and then there's another smaller list of documents of not so important. The most important documents are obviously going to be something similar throughout most of the companies that you try and work for. They want your official college transcript. They're going to want a copy of your diploma. This company also sent me medical forms that I have to fill out. The thing with the medical forms, for me right now, I'm just going to go out there and say it, I am a type 2 diabetic. I don't want to hear the normal questions that I get all the time. You don't look diabetic, you're too skinny, you're too young. I'll cover this one in another video. I'm actually going to do another video on what it's like being a type 2 in Japan. And if you know anything about Japan, they are very rice, very starchy heavy. How do you deal with that? Another video. We'll get to it later. So I have a medical document that I had to send to my doctor. I haven't gotten a list of immune shots that I have to get yet, but according to my doctor, I can go to the county health office and they will have a list of what I need. So you need to make sure you're up to date on that. I got a visa sponsorship agreement. The company that I am looking at is sponsoring my visa. That's one thing I think you should actually look for, are companies that will sponsor your visa. Because then generally, you just hand them information, they're going to do all the legwork to get things done. I like that idea. I had to fill out a form, just a bunch of questions like, are you okay working with kids? Are you okay eating with the kids? Are you okay buying the school lunches if the school lunches are being bought? Here. Then just a couple questions like, what's your favorite food? Do you have any favorite Japanese foods? Oh, so many questions. There was one where you had to write a little essay. It wasn't too bad. The biggest one, obviously, to really concentrate on is going to be the first question I had to answer, which was, what are some of your good personality traits? And name at least one negative one. Anyone who knows me, I like hanging out with people. I'm actually very much a people pleaser, but I like to laugh, I like to be creative, I like to hang out with people. when kind of I want to. I'll go into another story about that one later. But being a people pleaser means I can actually care too much, and that's my negative trait. But thanks to a recent job I've had, I've learned not to think that just because someone's angry, it's been my fault. So right now, today, February 16th, let me double check. Yeah, February 16th. I did actually mail off the documents that I need. The strangest thing I think that came out of this was that they wanted a very specific sized passport photo. It was like 3 by 4.5 centimeters. And I didn't realize that, so Kyle and I are running around the store that we went to get, the picture taken, and I find a Sharpie, he finds a ruler. We're kind of hiding it from the camera that we're marking the back of the picture so we can cut it later because I forgot to mention it. Whatever. Other than that, that's pretty much everything. Now, obviously, this is specific to the company that has sent me the provisional document. Depending on what company, how far you get with the company, depends on what documents you need and what documents you have to go with you. It's been interesting. I have to say the process has been a little bit harder than what Kyle and I thought to actually get a job in Japan. We kind of thought it was literally going to be one of those, hey, I have a degree, I want to live in Japan, oh look, I'm hired. But this has still been very, very fast compared to any of the other jobs that we've looked for in America. Kyle can probably tell you that in a separate video if he wants to. But, I mean, I applied for a job back in, oh gosh, October, maybe September, and I just got an email last week saying, oh, we found a better candidate. That is how many months? That is a lot of months in between of submitting the application and getting a response back at all. Kyle's actually gone through about 1.5 years before he's even gotten a response back. So while this she's sneezing, gesundheit. So while this process has been a little bit, hello, she is sneezing. I'm sorry everybody, we need to check on her. So while this process has been a little bit harder than what we thought it was going to be, this is still so very fast compared to most American job applications. We can tell you, being recent college graduates within the past, 7 years or so, job hunting is hard in America. Job hunting is difficult. I know that's the same thing. It's time consuming, it's labor intensive. Pardon me. And the problem is, being a recent graduate, or you are graduating in May or even December, depending on how your track has been at college, you need a job then and there. And even getting a really low quality, crappy service job can take a while to get. And you don't want that, especially if you're graduating, because you don't want to go home and stay with your parents unless you're that type of family that wants to. We weren't. And it's an interesting prospect that this is moving as fast as it is. So again, that's where I am. I have a provisional contract in with this company. Hopefully I will get something soon. And one more thing with the provisional contract. My dad looked at it. I looked at it. We asked my liaison, and he said the main thing I can do right now is, if they do offer me a full-fledged contract, I can't say no based on the city that the school, or however this is going to be, ends up in. So I can say no if I don't like the city. But we'll just have to see how that goes along. But this is where we are. It's getting here really, really quick. And we'll just have to see what happens here in the next couple of weeks. The last training for this job is at the end of March, because school starts the very beginning of April in Japan. That's their school year start time. So we're just going to have to see how that goes. So I'll keep you guys updated, but for now, I'll see you later. Bye!